everybody, this is Josh here, the Gray Bearded Green Beret. I want to talk to you real quick about something that we all hold near and dear to our hearts, the good old Bic lighter. And you know, I think we could all agree that if you're down to using a friction fire in an emergency, you've made some mistakes. And the first mistake is not having a lighter in your pocket and probably an extra lighter in your pack. When it comes to emergencies, you know, lighters are sure flame, not necessarily the same as sure fire, but sure flame, and that kind of gives you a leg up on getting in front of that emergency and getting your fire going quickly. Lighters, however, do have some shortcomings. They're really susceptible to really windy conditions. They're susceptible to moisture. They're susceptible to cold. And you know, if you think about it, those are all times when you actually need a fire the most. So knowing just a couple of little extra skills, like how to rescue a wet lighter, should this lighter be the only one you have and it's in your pocket and you dump your canoe or you dump your kayak or you get caught in a downpour and it's wet, how do you rescue that and how do you get a fire with that as quickly as possible? That's what I'm going to talk to you about. Now, the first thing you'll notice on a lighter when you get it is it has this little metal piece that goes over and covers the rotary striker. And you really want to take this off because it's going to trap moisture in there if it does happen to get wet. The way that you do that is just very carefully with your knife. You can see that it sticks up in here. You're just going to pry that out and make sure that you're prying it away from your eyes, and it'll spring right off. So even before you go to the field, this is exactly how you should prep your lighter so that in the event it does get wet, you can dry it out quickly. So having it set up that way allows you to quickly rescue it and get it working again should it get wet, because that guard is no longer on there to trap moisture on the rotary striker. And when this does get wet, if you think about this, this is a spring-loaded ferrocerium rod, and this is a rotary steel striker that removes material from that ferrocerium rod. That's where you get the spark. The button actually releases gas that ignites with that spark. So that's how the lighter works. Knowing that up front allows you to rescue it quickly. So the ferrocerium rod will work when it's wet. It's the rotary striker that's the concern, and that's what we've got to take care of quickly. That's why we take that piece off. Okay, so the situation is, for whatever reason, your lighter got completely soaked and you have to get that rescued so that you can get a fire going quickly. If your lighter gets wet, the first thing you need to do is shake it 3 to 5 times as hard as you can. And I mean, I'm whipping that water out of that housing. That's step 1. Step 2 is to blow into the housing 3 to 5 times as hard and as forcefully as you can. That starts getting a lot of the moisture out of there from the get-go. Now, if you have on a cotton shirt like this flannel that I'm wearing, what I like to do is pull the seam tight, and I'll kind of dry off that rotary striker as best I can. Rotate the striker a little bit, and then dry it off a little more. Once I've done that, I'm going to strike it on my pant leg until I get sparks. You see how I already had sparks on that. If I'm getting sparks, that means the rotary striker is dry enough and it'll light. If I'm rubbing this on my pants and I'm not getting strikes, then that means it's not dry enough. If you don't have cotton that you can quickly dry it off with, if you're wearing synthetics, then you can just run it across your pants and those sparks will actually dry the wheel out for you. So, if you know the technique and you do the technique step by step, you can dry out a lighter within 10 to 20 seconds and you'll be back in the game, just like we are here. Okay? So that's it. That's how you rescue a wet lighter. And if you're relying on this for emergencies, which you should have one in your pocket at all times. You should also have one in your pack at all times. So that way you always have one available for an emergencies, because this should be your first choice. If you like this video and for more tips like this, make sure you subscribe, make sure you click that notification bell, and go into your personal settings and allow notifications, push notifications from this channel, so you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. Until next time, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in your woods.